Today's episode of the Tourpreneur podcast is kindly sponsored by Checkfront, the booking platform trusted by over 5,000 tour and activity operators around the world. This month, Checkfront is offering an exclusive 90-day free trial for tourpreneurs. Find out more at checkfront.com/tourpreneur.
Welcome to the Tourpreneur podcast. Travel industry veteran Shane Whaley will take you on a journey with fellow tourpreneurs, sharing their tips, ideas, insights, and success stories to inspire you to make your tour business the best it can be. And now, here is your host, Shane Whaley.
And welcome back to Tourpreneur, the 30-day Things to Do challenge for tour operators. It is day 8. Kyla, welcome back to Tourpreneur.
Thanks for having me. Okay, so this task today probably isn't going to be your favorite, but let's just bite the bullet and get it over with. Day 8 is dedicated to replying to those negative reviews. If you don't have one single bad review, good on you. That's like seriously amazing. But the reality...
None of our tourpreneurs get negative reviews. You're on the wrong show.
Yeah, the reality is, even if you continually deliver an exceptional experience, there's always going to be that one person who didn't have a good enough time and they just want to share their 2 cents. So instead of ignoring these complaints altogether, it's better to just address them head on. And I know it's not the funnest thing to do, but trust me, it's so worthwhile. Because other potential guests will look at your reviews to decide whether or not to book with you. And while a negative review might dissuade them temporarily, you can counteract that hesitation with a reply that shows you care about guest satisfaction and take feedback seriously.
I love in the PDF, and I hope everyone listening has got your PDF. And if not, they can get it at tourpreneur.com/challenge and find the link there. I like that you've given a template, but you have blanks and then you kind of give advice on what to write rather than, hey, just send this out. So our listeners, put a bit of thought and consideration into that. So I think it's great that we've got that template. You also share quite a few tips for negative reviews. Could you run through a few of those for us?
So the biggest thing is don't take it personally. It's no reflection on you. They're taking the time to share their feedback. So think of it more as an opportunity to see how you can improve. So don't take it personally. Explain what might have gone wrong without getting defensive. Thank them for their feedback. Tell them how you plan to ensure it never happens again, or that you're taking their feedback into consideration and will maybe add that to the tour, and then resolve the issue with something like a gift card, a discount, or a refund if it's really, really terrible. Although if you go back really far into the year, maybe it's too little too late to offer that. And then most importantly, jot down ways you can improve for future reference.
Yeah. I would love it if our listeners would come on the group and maybe share some of their stories about what's happened when they've responded to a negative review, because I've heard some that are quite the U-turn when people feel listened to and they get that attention from a tour operator.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to be genuine. I know we provided a little script for you to use, but don't just copy and paste that for every single review. Just use it as inspiration for what the points that you want to cover, because people are going to start noticing if you're just copying and pasting a template for a response.
Yeah, and I'm a bit old school because I'm a wee bit older than you, Kyla, but I'm still a huge fan of picking up the phone. And I know it's not always possible because, in those days when people could travel internationally, I know it seems a long time ago, but very often in past roles I picked up the phone and spoke to the person. And it is amazing how many, again, it goes back to that point we discussed with Angela about writing a thank you card. Sometimes a phone call goes a long way as well.
Absolutely. It's like a breakup. You wouldn't break up with someone over text. So a phone call is much more genuine.
Absolutely. Well, that's good advice for day 8. It's an essential part, I think, of this housekeeping we're going through, these tasks that I think most of us ignore. So this is a good one to work on day 8. Thank you, Kyla.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Tourpreneur podcast. Be sure to visit tourpreneur.com to join the conversation and access the show notes, including links to the resources mentioned on today's episode. This is Tourpreneur.